Hello, I'm Dr. Brant Hulsebus from Rockford, Illinois, and welcome to the ICA Sports and Fitness Science podcast, part of the ICA Chirocast series. And as you can see today, I'm joined by a couple of guests. First, I'll introduce a familiar face to those of you, Dr. Kevin Jackson, who's also on our ICA Sports and Fitness counselor, and then our friend Shon Harker from Stroops. I'm trying hard to make sure I say that right with my Midwest twang. So welcome, Shon. You want to tell
Thank
us a
you.
little bit
Glad
about
to be here.
yourself and who Stroops is?
Yeah, I'm Shon Harker. Went to college out to my undergrad college was at Lehigh University in Pennsylvania. Got my master's degree, then went on to get my master's degree from University of Washington. My bachelor's was from Lehigh University in Pennsylvania, so kind of back in the east side. I've got an engineering degree, played football for Lehigh, and combined the two together kind of randomly for developing a new product during my master's degree program. I was like, I'm lifting weights and my fingers are giving out and I got all these big muscles that haven't got to work out. I was like, there's got to be a way to bypass your grip. So my wife bought me a home sewing machine from a garage sale, and I went down to the store and bought some webbing fabric, and my mother had taught me how to sew when I was a little kid. And so I started sewing up these little configurations to make a strap. Later it was designed to loop around a bunch of different things. So the strap and loop combined together became the name of the first product. So strap and loop became Stroops. Later, as I developed more and more products, people would come by a trade show booth and like, oh my gosh, so much creativity, love the innovation. And there was one client that looked up at the brand Stroops and says, oh my gosh, super creative, sports spelled backwards with an extra O. That's genius. And we're going, dude, we knew that the whole time. That's the brand. So we changed from the product Stroops, and now it's the Stroops became the brand. The master company is called Harken Technologies because we actually design and manufacture our own brand, which is Stroops, but we also design and manufacture fitness and rehab products and chiropractic products and other products, industrial products for all kinds of different companies. So we make them all here in the United States. Behind these walls over there, this is just the showroom. So I've designed hundreds, if not thousands of products, and they do anything from rehab to the water sports world, to the aerospace world, to all kinds of stuff. So that's the quick background of
Dr.
Harken
Jackson,
Stroops.
you want to jump in here and tell us a little bit why you wanted to make sure you're on this podcast?
Well, I'll tell you what, I went to visit the manufacturing facility and I was just tickled pink because it has so much potential for us as chiropractors, especially sports chiropractors. There's all kinds of equipment that they have, and Shon has laid out some really specific equipment that would be good for cervical curve restoration, lumbar curve restoration. He's got treadmills that you can also do neurological training on. It's just amazing. It's just I can't. It's like a hidden gem for chiropractic, and I didn't know it was available. You can design your own stuff. I just think he's a wonderful asset, wonderful human being, and I thought it was a must that he needs to be part of the ICA. You're welcome.
Well, before we get on, you were telling me about some of the things you've already helped design and create with collaborations with others. There's only things I know Dr. Jackson just hit on a couple of them. Is there anything you can share with us?
Yeah, I mean, I've designed a lot of my own stuff, and a lot of it's kind of evolved. The thing that Kevin's talking about evolved over time, and I can go into some of the details of that. And it's very fascinating. I've had like 2 or 3 companies per week who call me and want me to design something for them, because what I've learned is most companies don't have a lot of research and development budget, or they don't have the skills for it. You know, Kevin came out, hey, I want to design a product. I have this cool idea in mind, but you know, like a chiropractor, they don't know how to design a product, they don't know where to manufacture it, they don't know how to launch the product, but they have a really cool idea and they have an audience for it. And they're like, well, we don't even know how to get started. And so my space is launching and getting products to market. What I'm not really good at is telling the world. And that's where this ICA relationship becomes super interesting, is because we can develop really cool stuff for chiropractors, and then they would have to have the audience that they speak to. Obviously, they have clients that come in all the time. You guys are a leadership group through athletic performance and the chiropractic space alone. So if there was something created for your population, well, then you have an audience. And what we found is that if we do something like for Kevin or for the ICA, we say, okay, we've developed something cool. You guys get super stoked because we helped you invent something of your own. And now you've got some skin in the game and some pride in the game. So these companies that would take a year and a half to 2 to 3 to 4. Matter of fact, I'm working with a guy right now, a physical therapist, who was on this product for 13 years. And he's like, I got this product. I don't know how to do it. I've had this idea. I've shown it. People like it. I just don't know what to do. And while he's talking about it, I designed the entire product on a piece of paper, and I was able to make it on Monday. Now, the fastest we've ever done it was I'll even use a story. It's Equinox. Equinox, humongous company, massive amounts of money. This guy was trying to develop this cool new product and didn't know how to do it. He's a trainer. And he talks to his boss. He's like, dude, I don't know how to do this. Is what I got. And he's like, have you talked to Shon? And I'm like, Shon Harker, this guy at Stroops. And he's like, no. So he gives me the number. The guy calls me up and says, hey, I got this product. How can we do this? I says, well, tell me about what you're trying to do. And so he describes what he's trying to do. He shows me this Home Depot thing, and he's got it duct taped and, saran wrapped and bungee cords. And this is my cool thing. And I was like, okay, that's never going to work because it's going to have to be assembled and disassembled in like 10 seconds or someone's going to be frustrated. So I looked at it and talked a little about what his end goal was. I says, let me be back. I went back in the back, and in like 10 minutes, I had it made. I said, this is what your product's going to be. So he orders 2,000 of these suckers. And, I have another story similar where it was a company that they spent a year and a half doing product development. And they're like, how do we get a product to market? We can't do it. They can't figure it out. They fly to China. They do whatever. And they got my name from somebody, and they said, well, you need to call this guy. And so he calls me up. She calls me up, and she describes the product. I said, I'll have it done in a day. She's like, well, there's no way. I says, yeah, I'll have it done in a day. So she flies out. We went through 2 or 3 iterations because we manufacture right here. We designed the whole product. She brought it back. It was a Wednesday. She brought it back and said, oh my gosh, I got to show my executive team on Monday. I need 6 samples. Can you have them here before Monday? So we made them on Thursday, shipped them out Thursday, got there on Friday. She did a presentation. The people loved it, said, oh my gosh, we got to try a class. And so we need 20 or 25 pairs. So that week we made 25 pair and we shipped them to the class. They said, oh my gosh, these are awesome. We need 40,000 pair within the next 6 months. So we shipped 40,000 pair within the next 6 months. So what they couldn't do, it took a year and a half, we were able to launch and make in a couple days. Normally companies, what I've talked to recently, a year and a half to 3 years is pretty normal to get a product to market. I talked to another guy like 3 days ago. They says, we haven't created a new product in 3 years. I says, I've created 3 new products this week. So the stuff that we're able to do is getting a product from concept to market really, really, really quick. And then the one that Kevin's talking about is really cool. I don't know if you want me to jump in that. You want me to jump in that, Brant, or do you want me to,
Yeah,
you want to,
keep
another
keep
question you want
going.
to go to? We're good? So the product that Kevin's talking to was an evolution product. I didn't have it in mind at the time, but the product, we make a bunch of elastic resistance products, and I can show you them in a second. But I like to train like you play. That's my concept. If I'm going to train, an example is I'm doing the bench press. Most popular lift for football athletes, bench press. Super cool. I'm saying, when's the last time you saw an NFL athlete laying on his back pushing up? Okay, then you got your butt kicked and you're laying on the ground. So why aren't we training like we play? And so I want to mimic all these things. And so I wanted to make a treadmill that it was self-propelled and flat. Because all the treadmills now, you put your foot on and it moves it back, put your foot on, moves it back. It's a motorized treadmill, so you're not really running on it. It's not true running. You have to drive yourself forward. Then there's a curved treadmill that you step on the high side and you roll down. Step on the high side and you roll down. Well, your foot lands uphill. You push off downhill. When does that happen? Never. So why are we training like that? The other one is when you walk, you guys should know this. When you walk, when I want to slow down to change the center of gravity, I take a bigger step. Puts my foot out in front of me, slows down. On a curved treadmill, when I step a bigger step, I go faster. And your brain goes, dude, what just happened? You took a bigger step. I'm supposed to slow down. I didn't. So you didn't take a big enough step. You need to take a bigger step. And next thing that happens is the common person face plants because the brain's not and body's not working together. So I created a flat motorless treadmill. I talked to several manufacturing companies, said, hey, can you do this for me? He says, you're an idiot. It won't work. I says, don't worry about making it work. I just need a treadmill that does this. And most of them declined and said, you're an idiot. It won't work. Well, I did it. It works. Then what we found out is as you walk, so then I started messing around and said, okay, if I'm walking on a treadmill, what if I attach an elastic to my leg? And I'm going to back up so you can see me. Can you see me here? So if I'm walking and I attach an elastic to the leg because I want to learn how to drive that hip forward, then I could attach it, and while I'm walking, I can learn how to drive that leg forward. Well, then what I discovered as I'm doing this, as you can imagine, you're trying to walk on this treadmill, you're driving this leg forward. When I take the elastic off, this leg's doing this. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. What happens if I tie it to another part of my body? And so I started attaching it to different parts of my body. And Kevin was here when we did this for him. We basically took an elastic and we attach it to your forehead. And the idea is to work on my curve and posture. Well, normally I saw a chiropractor do this, and he was basically had a band and he had it to his guy's forehead into an anchoring position, and they were doing this movement. I don't know what you call it. There's probably some chiropractic move you call that thing. And so he's doing this. And I said, well, as we know, I learned from a chiropractor, Deed Harrison out in Boise, that I was listening to one of his lectures, and he's talked about how the body's connected from top to bottom. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. And I know as an athlete, as I stand on one foot and then I switch to another, there's different muscles, skeletal systems, neural systems, etc., that are being involved. So I told this chiropractor guy, well, if you have it text to here, what happens if you walk in place? Now there's different muscles with my neck to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. So he tried that. He's like, oh, wow, that's kind of cool. I get different muscles throughout the whole system when I switch left to right. So then I said, let's try this while you're walking on a treadmill. So you walk on our treadmill, which is, by the way, I'm going to switch you to the treadmill side. Over here is the treadmill side, so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is the treadmill, and there's no motor. You can't get it to go. You have to have a counter force. So if you hold on the side, it'll start to walk. You can limp, you can skip, you can do whatever you want. Push it like a lawnmower, hold it like a... But to allow yourself to do hands-free, you simply attach the belt, secure it in place, and now when you go to walk, you can walk hands-free. But it feels like you're walking outside. I can change pace, anything I want, but it's super smooth. So now back to the posture thing. If I take an elastic band and I attach it to my forehead, and now I walk, what happens is the muscles in the back, etc., are engaged. So now I have to hold my head up. And because I'm walking is such a common practice for the human body, the body quickly figures out that, hey, you're doing something weird. In order to maintain balance, you have to have different muscle, skeletals, whatever else engaged to maintain that posture. So we started to walk, and we'll have Kevin tell you what it was like when he did it for the first time. But you have him walk for a couple minutes like this. What's really cool is when they do it for the first time, you as a doctor can look at their eyes, and their brain is recalculating. You can see the brain through their eyes like, okay, that's not working. Usually they have to kind of figure it out, and then after about a minute, most people are able to walk. And if you get them distracted by talking about their kids or dog, they move this into a subconscious mode. So now they just think this is the new normal. And when you get them off the treadmill, because it's been a walking thing, a normal thing, it's reprogrammed their whole system to engage as it was before. Crazy, crazy, crazy that you can reprogram neurologically, strengthen the muscles after you do an adjustment to help maintain that correction that the chiropractic event did. So, Kevin, is this right? I
Yeah,
mean, tell us about
exactly.
what
You
you
get on
experienced.
the
Is that right?
treadmill, and you're at first really uncoordinated, and you're trying to just stay from falling. And next thing you know, your body kicks in, your nervous system kicks in, and it starts to coordinate all the muscles and joints and ligaments and tendons. And next thing you know, you got a smooth rhythm going. You get off of the treadmill, you feel like your posture is completely upright. It's completely balanced, and it's just the most amazing thing I've ever witnessed. And I did it, and I had some slides on. If you remember, I didn't have the right shoes on, so it added another element to it. But I'll tell you what, to this day, I'm still shaking my head. It's like, that is the coolest thing going. And I'm trying to figure out how to fit those, physically fit them in my office, because there's no space. But I'm going to make it, because that right there, what you just demonstrated, being on the treadmill, having the lumbar connection, having the cervical connection, absolutely gold for a chiropractor, especially a sports chiropractor.
So we did, I'll show you I'll show you a picture in a second, but we've done scoliosis stuff where you guys hopefully have the imagination and creativity, see what's going on. But there's actually, we have a cage. Imagine a cage that goes to the front and the back and then to the left and the right. So you can attach elastic resistance from any part of your body and twists and turns. We actually did one for a scoliosis client that we actually pulled to the left and to the right and kind of moved their spine and forced them to walk. And this gal, we have videos of this, but this gal is a very fit person. Super, super fit person. We put her on this, pulled left and right. I think we had the top and the bottom pulling one direction, the middle pulling the other direction. And it's a term that Dr. D. Harrison talked about, mirror image. You know, you guys might know what that stuff is. I don't really know, but basically you pull opposites, you have to work twice as hard. She was like, why am I sweating? I'm just barely walking. And what's happening is all the little muscles in my brain, all the little muscles that were being lazy now have to be engaged. And the brain's like, dude, you got to participate. And the muscle's like, I never had to participate before. I was chilling. Like, no, dude, you can't be lazy. You got to join in. And so now they start joining in. And it was interesting when she got off the treadmill, she put her arms out to the side after this. And she said, like, one arm was always higher than the other whenever she did this. She says, how are my arms now? And they were completely opposite. And she'd only been on there for like 3 minutes. And she talked about how amazing that feel was. And I'm going to show you another one we did with a chiropractor. He's out of Boise as well. And let's see if I can figure out in my favorites portfolio. He's done all kinds of different setups. He's got hundreds and hundreds of setups. One of my other most fun one is, I call it computer shoulders. You guys have way more technical terms than I do.
Tech neck.
Like this. And so,
Tech neck.
what was that? Tech neck. Tech neck. That's the high-tech term, tech neck. So what we do is while you're walking on the treadmill, we pull your shoulders with elastics deeper into this. So you have to fight. And if you have the head posture down here, we also pull the elastic from the head. So now I got to keep my shoulders back and get my head engaged. And now I'm walking. And sure enough, everybody coming out is doing the big old strut. But at the end of the day, it really works. So let me see if I can find a couple of these setups that they had. Oh, so this is that setup.
Yeah. So for those of you watching, it's a whole cage around the treadmill with bands, your trademark bands, in order to help do, like he said, mirror imaging to fight back and change it.
So this one's pulling from the forehead, pulling from the shoulders, pulling forward. And I mean, this was like a bunch of chiropractors messing around. This guy's got it to his neck and to different parts of the body. You can see he's kind of struggling in the very beginning. But eventually, after about 30 seconds, he figures it out. And now he's starting to walk normal. The brain has reprogrammed, hey, this is the new normal. You better figure it out. and you got to engage these muscles. When you get off, then then it sticks with you for a little while. Of course, like anything else, you have to practice your posture. So this is one that one of the doctors, chiropractor guys, sent to me. So you'll see on this one, for those who can't see it, you've got a red line and a green line. This is where the back posture is. There's a curvature in the posture kind of going forward and backwards. And after 6 weeks of the combination of doing adjustments and not, you're like dead on.
Correction here on the cervical
And so
curve
in
and the
my
lumbar
view,
curve. Lateral views is what we're seeing.
so, I mean, I've been to a chiropractor multiple times and I go and get adjusted and like, oh, this is really cool, but I can feel all the muscles then pulling my spine back into a different position because that's how it's used to. So I'm looking at the chiropractor like, guys, you're doing an awesome job adjusting, but the muscles around it are not allowing you to stay in form. If you did an adjustment and then you put them on what we call the movement optimizer, which is this product, the movement optimizer, you put them on there. Now I can strengthen the muscles associated with the adjustment so that the adjustment stays much
A
longer
common
in
phrase
place.
I use in my office
It's
is
like
I can
crazy.
adjust you, unlock your spine, but you have to put the work in to correct your posture. You're supplying tools for us to use with our patients to help them both biomechanically with the resistance and neurologically with the input to retrain those stabilization muscles and the proprioceptive outputs at the exact same time to really reinforce us doing the adjustment first to loosen it, then to hold it on. And I'm going to gather is if I'm a chiropractor and I've been trying to fight people with neck curves forever, thinking to myself, man, I know how to fix this. I just need this one more component, this one more thing. If I wish somebody would just make this one thing, we call you and you say, well, this is what I've done in the past. This is what we had good luck with. I love your idea. Let's do this. And then sometime, I know you talk fast, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but in the immediate near future, that I would be able to have it in my clinic to just share with my patients. Is that kind of a quick summary?
Yeah, that's true up to a point. To make a one-off is not very cost effective. So we're not saying, hey, I just need this one unit for me, and I'm never going to sell it. Other than that, it just doesn't make any sense for us to manufacture something like that because there's no return on that. What we're looking for is say, hey, I've got a product, I have a speaking platform, I have an audience, or I want to sell one of these to every one of our customers. And if that's the case, then it's interesting. I actually designed a product or a doctor, another chiropractor out of Boise, and he sells a kit to every one of his clients, and he has a bunch of people that follow their practice. And so basically he says, these are the ways to treat the patient. And in order to do it, you need this tool, this tool, this tool. So the concept is, and I use this all the time. I said, if I want to become a better musician, and all I do is practice every time I see the piano instructor, my once a week piano class, and I don't have a piano at home, and I never touch the piano until I go back the next week, you're wasting your time. And if that's really what the chiropractic is, if I just go see a chiropractor once a week or whatever it is, and I don't do anything at home, I'm not going to get better. And so you should also use the same tool at the chiropractic place as you do at home. So creating a tool that you could use at home that you also use in the clinic, hey, I want you to do this or whatever that thing is. Now they become good. Matter of fact, that movement optimizer, one of the chiropractic clinics in Orem, Utah, the guys, you can feel the difference, and Kevin can vouch for this. When you get done walking after 2 or 3 minutes, you can feel your body change, unlike an ultrasound or a whatever. Like, I didn't know, a laser. Like, did you do something? I don't know. Maybe. This, when you walk off, you know something happened. And the clients were actually coming in on their own, wanting to get on the machine because it feels so good, and they felt the difference immediately. They'd come in, they knew how to set up the machine, they set up themselves and just did it. So am I right on this, Kevin? Is that your experience too? Or is that
Totally. You get off of there and you notice a distinct difference in the pattern of how you move, your range of motion, your posture, your upright. It really is remarkable. Really.
We're going to get near the end of this podcast. Do you have anything that you wanted to bring up that we haven't discussed?
Are you talking?
I was going to ask Dr. Jackson first. Is there anything he wanted to add as we're getting near the end of our time here?
Okay, yeah. So I'll add this. It's fantastic stuff. There's so many products, and of course, we're going to be carrying them on our ICA website. But the one thing that comes to mind that would make this really, really simple for every chiropractor is that they sell this band that just connects to the wall. You simply hook up the cervical curve unit and you march in place. I mean, you're adding just right there, you're adding movement, you're adding cervical curve. It's a big thing, chiropractic. You do that in your clinic. You can have 10 of them and you can have your patients using them at one time. You can self-teach them how to do it. That's how easy it is. Then you can make the unit available for them to bring home and to do it at home, because it's very, 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 very cost-effective stuff. I mean, it is very cost-effective. So, I'm all about getting tangible results, and tangible results is what drives chiropractic and the profession. And so we talked before about having a certain bundle from Stroops, and this would be like a minimal bundle, but easy to get into, easy to implement. And just that being said, there's so much that this man and these products can do. So it's just so worthy of us to associate with them.
John, I'll let you wrap it up here.
So let me just finalize what Kevin was saying. This is an elastic resistance band. It's safe. You can't overstretch it. It's a built-in safety limit. You can't overstretch it. It doesn't pinch and pull. If it ever breaks, it stays inside. So if if any of your clients or any of your doctors use an elastic, they need to switch to a safe, protected solution. Now I'm going back to what Kevin talked about. We recommend something like this in a chiropractic clinic where it mounts to the wall. They then simply connect the elastic. You can have a handle or a chest strap, whatever you want. We'll just pretend like it's the head strap, which Kevin was talking about. So in a clinic, they can do this and march in place as he was talking. But this isn't always the best solution for a customer, because they don't want to mount something to the wall. So over here, we have what he was talking about, this door spine. It wraps completely around a door, so it doesn't come off if your kids come in or your significant other comes in. So you now can attach it here with, again, a head strap attached here, which I don't have, but it right with me. But you put it on here, or you can do your neck exercises, or you march in place, or your rotations, whatever you want. This thing all collapses in a little box that's about yay big. And the cool thing about it is we could customize different kits, because you could say, hey, I think this is the right one for a shoulder or a lumbar or a neck or whatever it is. I don't care. We have all the components. You guys know your space. We know ours. We kit whatever you want and go. So, we really want to make an impact in the chiropractic space. We're good at what we do. We just don't have the voice into what you guys do, because we sell to a bunch of other platforms. So we're trying to, how do we get you guys knowledgeable enough and successful enough, say, hey, this is the right package for A, B, C, and you have a doctor who knows what he's talking about, say, this is what you need to do. Then all the other doctors say, oh, since Dr. XYZ said this is the cool thing, I believe in his philosophy, I will just implement it and put it in my practice, and it's turnkey. So yeah, product development, getting you guys launched, helping you stand out. Also, these are fantastic for memory stuff. It goes in their place. They never leave it. Hey, where's this? Oh, I got it from Dr. Jackson. I got it from Dr. XYZ. He's my awesome chiropractor, and I feel way better.
We're
Oh,
going to have
so
in the summer of 2027, we're planning a giant symposium, and I can already see that we're going to be doing one with you with these products and make them available through the council. Right now, if you got more questions or want more information, you can go to our council page to see more. Sean, can I ask for a favor? Could we come back and do another one of these? Because we're running out of time, and I think we have a lot more fun stuff to talk about. So could I ask publicly here to revisit with you again?
yeah, absolutely. I do this anytime. It's a lot of fun. And if anyone else had any questions, you can connect them with me. And my job is to make
We
you
have
guys
links to
successful.
Stroops
That's really
on
what it is.
our site too. So you can go on there, you'll see the logo and click on that, and you can go right to their website and learn more too. Well, this was a lot of fun. I want to thank everybody for jumping on here and getting this podcast done. And I hope to meet again here real soon. And I hope soon we'll have the ICA Sports and Fitness package you can get through Stroops, through our website, and get going with your patients if this stuff excites you like it excites us. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.